Hi everyone and welcome back to Ships at Sea. So in today's video what I want to do is just go through the public test build for version 8.1. So lots of new features have been added and there's been some improvements. The first one, there they are waving at us, is the introduction of NPCs walking around on the dock to bring a bit of life. So that's a nice touch, and that's also the developers preparing for NPC crew, which isn't in just yet. So let's just go in each one of the shops and the office and look at what's new. So start with the office. If we scroll down, we can see there are a few new jobs. So there's the quick catch and the precision angler, which is just about jigging competitions. And you have a harbour cleanup operation. So it says you require a tier 1 or tier 2 boat, but it needs to be a service boat. So the service boat mission for harbour cleanup is back in. They also have a ship fire, but I believe that's dynamically generated. Other service missions haven't been introduced just yet. They should be in at a later update. If we go into the shop, I will say you will need to get a flashlight. I'll show you why once we go on board. But under parts, there's now replacement circuit breakers which fit into your ship system, because your ships can actually overload their circuit breakers now. But again, I'll show you that when we get on board the ship. If we move along to the shipyard, we're going a couple of things in here. Number one, we can wash the ships and they will be washed now, so there's no excuse for having a dirty boat anymore, so to speak. And the other thing is this locker now enables you to customize your character in game, so you can change the appearance of your character. Not sure whether you have to enter a new name every single time. We'll have to try that out at some point. Hopefully the name will stay the same. And we'll just go round to the fishery. In fact, on the way there, let's have a look at this. The tier 2 crane. It says they've improved it with a extendable winch cable, but it looked the same to me. It still works the same. So there's no real difference that I could see. Perhaps I'm missing something. We'll go round to the... don't know what she's doing. We'll go round to the fishery. And a couple of upgrades here. Gear primarily. Buoys. You can now upgrade your buoys. So each line requires 2 buoys. So if you've got 10 lines, you'll need 20 buoys for that. If you've got 20 lines, you'll need 40 buoys. And net fishing, there's different sizes of nets now. Obviously the bigger the net, you can catch more fish. What I will be doing, I won't be doing net fishing in this video, but I will try it again, because last time net fishing was pretty bugged in that you just couldn't catch enough fish. You could only catch like 3 fish per net. So I'm hoping they've improved that and it might become a viable proposition again. So that's something I will be trying. Right, let's go on board. We'll go on board the Nordland first. We'll have a look at this boat. So the first most obvious thing, and this is good to see because it's something I did think would be a good idea, is they've actually got a lowerable winch now. So before the winch was just attached to the boom arm, so this is going to make it much more flexible to move cargo around, so that's a great thing to see. And And this is another one. You might want to turn your volume down if it's a bit loud, because what have we got? The horn now, that is loud. The horn now works, which is great. I'm probably more excited about that than I really should be. And the other thing, will take you down into the technical area, the engine room. I believe it's somewhere in here. I'm sort of a little bit lost on this one. Ah, here it is. So here, you open the door, you now have circuit breakers, and they can be disabled, and then you can use your power drill to remove. And then you can then detach it, remove the circuit. Oh, hang on, I've unscrewed it. Then I have to deactivate the drill, and then I can just remove that circuit breaker, place it back, and then we can use the drill, put it back in place. Oh, I keep fingers more than one screw, so we screw it in. Once it's screwed in, we can then re-enable it. Now the reason I said you need a flashlight is if this circuit breaker trips out, that's what you're going to be seeing. So you'll want to have that flashlight equipped so that you actually can reposition it. I'm not sure if you can actually do anything. We can enable it. The only thing is, I'm not sure if you'll be able to use the drill while your flashlight is equipped, which make life very difficult. So I'm not sure. I might come back to that and have a look around. Anyway, so that's the circuit breaker mechanism. Anyone know the way out of here? Okay, and it also says the bow thrusters on this boat and the Scomcat have been implemented, but as I've shown on other videos, the bow thrusters always work for me, whether or not it's changed so that you don't have to mess around putting it into a neutral gear before activating the bow thruster. Let's find out, shall we? Let's just go and have a quick look while we've got the boat here. We'll just cast off. Okay. Let's just... What I'll do is I will go to... We're on automatic gear switch at the moment anyway, so that's fine. So we'll see if the bow thrusters work any differently. Oh, yes they do. Ah, hang on, that's... Whoa, 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 whoa. It seems to have gone a bit different. Oh, hello. Yeah, that's one way to trash a boat. Okay. Yeah, so the bow thrusters seem to work independently at the moment, and also they've reversed it. It used to be if you push the right bow thruster, it would push the boat to the left. Now it seems to be you you set the thrust in the direction you want to move, you need a little bit of power. But yeah, I mean that seems a little bit urgent to me, but that is completely different. And they're quite aggressive as well. They didn't used to be quite so powerful, so I think the bow thruster works completely independently of the throttle. It does. Okay, so that's interesting to see. Right, what I'll do is I'll just jump back ashore, and then we'll rejoin you in a moment, and we'll get the Poseidon ready and have a look at that one. Welcome back. So we're on the Poseidon. We're actually out in the ocean. I've sailed out to lay some long lines, and you can see that there's a difference in the map. That's something else that's been updated. Personally, I think it looks a little bit crisper, a little bit cleaner. Still a bit annoying that the distance is being shown in centimetres here. Once the fish divide up, that really still needs to be in kilometres or at least metres. But everything else is now showing kilometres, as it should do. I think the map looks a little bit better. I think it looks a bit crisper, a little bit cleaner. Okay. The other thing I've noticed is, yeah, I think they've overdone it a bit on the roll there. I mean, if you look at that vessel, the way it's listing to the left and right, that seems very excessive to me. At some points the upper deck is almost going under the water. But as I said, this is a public test build, so I'm sure that's something they will look at again. It will get another revisiting soon. I'm actually in the middle of laying a long line. I'll just take you down to that. We'll have a look at that first. The other thing, I don't know if you can hear, is there's a bit of a crashing sound. And I believe that's coming from this crane mast which they've introduced. It's the swinging of a mast. See, I struggle to get round it. You have to shut this hatch and then go onto it. But I'll actually lift it up a bit more might work. But again, it has a boom, a winch that can be lowered. It can't be used, it doesn't really do anything at the moment, but ultimately you'll be able to eventually lower it down and unload your cargo manually. So that's something to look forward to. Sometimes, yeah, you can sometimes get just past it. You sort of hook a bit if you can get round. And the other thing is they've slightly changed the long line setup. There always were two buckets at the back here, but now what we can do is while one is deploying, you can load another bucket on, which you couldn't do. You still have to come back and manually launch each bucket. It won't just automatically launch one after the other. But before, if a bucket was being deployed, you couldn't do anything with it. You had to wait or you had to load both buckets together. So again, it sort of makes things a little bit smoother. One bucket can be being deployed and I can chuck another one. Again, you can just see the flag on the buoy there. That's the upgraded buoy with two flags, and at night time it'll have a light on it. So what I can do is I can immediately chuck out another long line, and you can just see the buoy with the flags. I can grab this, chuck it on, and then that's ready to go. So again, it's a little bit of an improvement. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll get a few more of these lines out, and then what I will do is jump back and show you the improved gutting process of the fish. So I'll be back soon. Okay, so we're back and ready to pick up the first of our boys. It's quite calm, so hopefully we won't have too much of a problem. And then once we do it, I can just show you the improved gutting process. Should be good enough. Let's get out there and try and grab it. Okay. See what we got. See what we got. Okay, so we're going to struggle to get these fish through because they're going under the boat, unfortunately. So see, some of the text has actually changed a little bit because it now says transfer to the bleeding box. So there it says place fish and move fish to the bleeding tank. Right, so now that's done. We go across and again it just says open the hatch, press an E. It used to say transfer fish, so we send them down. And then when we're gutting them, again just the text just helps, it now says pull the lever and then it pulls the fish down. Place fish. And you can now see we have a much better gutting area. Not saying I'm good at this, and then you just drag the line across and end up on the other circle. And now it doesn't tell you how to do this, but you have to press the escape key, which will then allow you to return the fish to the upper conveyor belt. I also think you actually now get to gut more fish per line than you used to. I think it breaks down to if you catch one catfish on the line, for example, you'll gut 2 or 3 catfish here. To give you a chance of it, you don't fluff up your entire catch with one poor gutting. See, that's got to be 5 stars. I mean, I don't know what the criteria is to do a good gut, but that certainly didn't seem great to me. See, I overshot the circle a little bit, and I wonder if that's why it gave me just 1 star. Yeah, I think it's something to do with circle. I'm using a laptop keypad here. Unfortunately, I ran out of room to drag my finger across the pad. So I have to probably start there. Top on the circle and then 5 stars. So I think it's as long as you end up between the 2 circles, it's fine. Right, so what I'll do, I'll just gut the rest of these fish, then we'll just quickly talk about storage. Okay, so that's all the gutting done. So now we go into the storage area, and you can see what they've done here. They've actually put labels on the boxes. So you've got mixed, halibut, I don't know if that's haddock, and that looks possibly pollock or catfish, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. You can't actually put the wrong fish into the wrong box anyway, so just go to work. Okay, and then finally we're just going to push the button, hit the storage, fish is stored, and job done. Right, so I'll leave that video here. I'm not going to finish the rest of the fishing trip with you. This was really just to highlight the improvements that have been made and the updates. As I said, this is on a public test branch, and yep, I'll probably see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. Any comments, please leave below. I think maybe in the next video I'll do some net fishing. Until then, see you soon. Take care. Bye.